Hey everyone. For today's topic, I want to discuss this apparent fascination with themselves that many people have nowadays. It's like an extreme form of self centeredness that almost comes off like pseudo narcissism, where people are just so self absorbed, they care so much about their appearance and the way other people think of them and whatnot that it's borderline disgusting. It's like horrible behavior. It's sickening in a way because why the hell should anyone be that self-absorbed? It's weird. But a lot of people are like that nowadays. Social media is contributing to this. It's enabling it. It's making a lot of people be incorrectly called narcissists because they act like narcissists even though they're not. And for those of you who don't quite understand the definition of narcissism, you actually basically have to be born a narcissist. It's like a mutation in the brain that makes someone that self-absorbed where they literally don't care much about other people, not their emotions or anything like that. That's what allows them to put themselves first to that extreme degree. So most people who throw around the word narcissist aren't using it correctly because there aren't nearly as many actual narcissists out there as people would like to say. But there definitely are a lot of people now who are having narcissistic tendencies without being a full-blown narcissist. So remember, you have to be diagnosed a narcissist by a psychiatrist. It's an actual legitimate psychological condition or like mental disorder. So yeah, but anyway, my whole point there is that a lot of people nowadays have these self-centered tendencies to the point that people are throwing around the word narcissist left and right because it can accurately describe some people, at least their behaviors. And that's unfortunate. It's bad that we're in this place. Like, I understand a lot of why this is happening because humans by nature are rather self-centered. It literally helps us survive. So it's an instinctual thing. It's us putting ourselves first because we want to make sure we continue surviving, right? Like, we're in our own bodies, so we want to continue surviving. You're not in the body of someone else, so you kind of don't care as much about their survival versus your own because you're not them, you're you, right? So yeah, humans by default are pretty self-centered, but it can be unlearned. Maybe not completely, but you can make people be less self-centered so that they actually start caring more about communities and other people besides themselves. But social media seems to be enabling people to just take on this rampant self-absorption where you see people posting selfies all the time and posting their gym progress pics, but really they're posting those pictures because they want attention and validation from others. If they were really progress pics, they would take that picture and not post it on social media, right? They just have it in their camera roll and they'd reference it later on to know, oh, I've made good progress. So as soon as you post it online, you're kind of doing it for attention. Maybe you could argue you're not, but I don't know, man. I haven't heard anyone come up with an argument that I actually believe in that regard, because if you really were doing it for yourself, you wouldn't post it on social media. So there you go. But yeah, there's a lot of that nowadays. And what actually inspired me to discuss this is I was at the gym this morning and I was working out in front of a mirror so I could see my form, and I was in an area of the gym that a lot of people have to walk by to get to other equipment, and I noticed that almost everyone who walked by the mirror area turned and looked, or not turned, but turned their head and looked at themselves in the mirror as they were walking by. They like were checking themselves out in the mirror. And I was just standing there working out like, this is weird. This is almost like disturbing that this many people are literally checking themselves out every time they pass a mirror. Like, I'm like, what the hell kind of self-absorption is this? It's sad in a way. Like, this isn't something that so many people should fall victim to. We shouldn't care that much how we look. We shouldn't care that much what other people think of us. And yet so many people do nowadays. So I guess I'm discussing this because I feel like it's something worthy of discussing, but I also want to make sure that none of you engage in this behavior, because you shouldn't allow yourself to be a victim to your own vanity like that. To allow yourself to, one, care that much about how you look all the time, but two, to care that much what other people think of you, especially strangers. Like, who cares what strangers think of you? Unless you're a frequent visitor at some store, whatever, like, or some place like the gym, you shouldn't really care what other people think of you, because the odds of you running into those people ever again are really low. But yeah, obviously, if you're going to the gym all the time, or like a barber shop or wherever, things like that, grocery store, you may see some of the same people time and time again. But for the most part, we still shouldn't care what strangers think of us, because they just don't know what the hell is going on in our lives. They don't have the full picture to work with. So even if they do judge us, they're likely going to be wrong in whatever the hell they're assuming about us. But you shouldn't care either way, because you shouldn't need their validation to steer you in life. You shouldn't need them to approve of you for you to know that you're living well. Like, the most important thing is to just make sure you're living the way that you want to, doing the things you want to do, because life is too short. Like, this opportunity is a special one. It's insane that we all exist in the first place. So why the hell are you going to spend this existence caring so much what random strangers think of you and their opinions of you? Who gives two shites? So this is pretty much the thoughts that came into my head when I saw all those people at the gym doing that, because it boggled my mind. And I've even seen some gym goers who there's a few of them that walk around like this, even though they're not that big. And I'm just like, what are you doing, dude? And one of the guys who walks around like that is always checking himself out in the mirror. He even will like go up to him, like flex and whatnot. And I'm just like, bro, like, relax. It's not that big of a deal, man. It's cool you're working out, but like, can you just, I don't know. Maybe that's not the correct form of self-love, pretty much. Like, self-love is all about being able to be comfortable in your own skin and love yourself as you are, but it's not about like wanting to date yourself or like kiss your, yeah, it's none of that weird crap. So, oh man. Yeah. So it's I don't know if it's mental illness or something, but there's clearly something wrong going on in society, and it is definitely affecting younger people more than older, because it's a social media enabled thing. So just make sure you try to avoid this as much as possible. And if you are posting something on social media, do it because you want to share something interesting with others, not because you want their attention or validation. Just, that's the wrong way to go about using social media. And the more you use it in that way, it can affect you mentally over time and make it so that you become incredibly vain, and you don't want that. So try to avoid it. But I'll step off my soapbox here. That's pretty much all I wanted to discuss in this video. I truly hope you enjoyed this one. If you like content like this, be sure to subscribe for more. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like on it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci!